That is a stunning piece of wood. I would have never thought in a million years that that would have ended up coming out. Don't even see it very well because it's so shiny, the light's reflecting off of it. But I took that bottom. So this is the project. I'm calling it my prehistoric bowl, as you can see from the title. The reason being is because it's old, chunky and rough around the edges, just like me. So, sticky and horrible. So yeah, yeah, nothing else to say really. It's failed. No good. So I'll see you guys next week. Fresh new project, one that works. And take care. Speak to you soon, and bye for now. Don't know what happened there. Anyway guys, welcome. Hope you're all well. Thanks for coming over to another Thursday dinner time live. So today we are going to be doing a replacement handle for one of these. What it is the old-fashioned irons that you used to heat against your stove or open fire. One of my customers has two, but one of the handles is missing on one. So she's asked me to see if I can make another handle for the one that's missing. So I don't know, I'm not sure what wood it's made out of. It looks like it's just a piece of soft wood, so that's what we got to make. I've done some drawings, so we'll go from there. But before we do that, we'll go through the chat and see who's in the chat. First off, we had Scott, Blue Light Turner. Then Libs, my niece, Libby. Hi, Libby. Then Steve from Rubber Dub Wood. Robbo Robson was next. And then we had Mark, the Gentleman Wood Turner. Mark, can you stick your link in for your live tonight, please? So people can get ready for that. Then we had John. Who else did we have after that? Keith, hi Keith from Circular Wood. Stacey Smith, hi Stacey. Then Amy, hi Amy. Colin Roberts, hi Colin. Richard, hi Richard, thanks for coming over. Steve Ellis, thanks for coming over again, Steve. Damo from Australia. And Jappy from South Africa. So some people from all over the world by the looks of it. Who else did we have in? I think, Mike, Midnight Joker. Hi, Mike. Doug Miller. Hi, Doug. Hope you're well. Ian. Hi, Ian. So again, a nice, good crew coming in. Yeah, so sorry, I was reading the chat. So yeah, a nice, good crew again. So thank you very much to everybody for coming over. And I hope... Well, it's been a bad day. It's just been one of those days that whatever I've touched and done has gone tits up. So I'm expecting no less from this. So we'll see what happens. It's just been one of those days today. So the reason I was running a bit late was because the computer decided to do updates just before I came on live. So it was a bit of a mad rush to boot that through. And then I had an issue. The CNC hadn't finished, so I've had to stop that or pause that so it didn't make too much noise in the background. So we'll see what happens. So that's the plan anyway. We're going to make a small handle. I'll just quickly show you the drawing that I've done. It's 107 meters long, 107 millimeters long. Widest point is 33, and then it's sort of shaped in. So I've got some rough measurements I've taken. So it's going to be, I'm going to try and get it as close as possible. I don't expect it to be exactly the same, but I'm going to try and get it as close as I can get it. The only thing I don't know whether I'm going to be able to do is there's a metal collar on the end there, which looks like a piece of mild steel because it's all rusty. I may turn it and then put a piece of brass over it, not brass, sorry, copper over it, or I may just turn it and then just colour it so it looks like metal, which will be just as good. I think the reason the collar's on there is to stop the wood splitting, because if you look down the end there, you can see that it's, I don't know if you can see that. You can see it's crisscrossed, obviously, so it expands when you wind it on. So that's the plan. Hi, Sean. How you doing? Thanks for coming over, sir. Hi, Nick. How you doing? So that's the plan. So what I've got is I've got a piece of timber here. It's around about, I'd say, 50 by 50, 45 by 45. Went far out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this between centres. Then I'm going to turn a tenon on the end here, and then we can get it grabbed in the chuck, and then obviously we can get marked up, get it rounded, get some sort of shape, and go from there. So that's the plan. I haven't got an airworm today, so what I will do is, because I missed a few comments last week, what I'll do is I'll stop every now and again and just go through the comments and see what's happening, because I don't want to miss people's comments if there's any questions or anything else. So that's the plan. So what I'll do is I'll change the camera view, and then I will get this in the chuck, and we'll go from there. So let's go overhead first, and we'll see what happens. So we'll get this between centres. I have drilled a small hole in the end there, just so it sinks into the, and easier to line up. I don't like turning between centres much, because it never seems secure, but it is secure, don't get me wrong. But so I'm going to do is I'm going to turn a tenon on here first, so that we can get it stuck in the chuck securely. Hi Eva, how are you? Thanks for coming over. So we'll get a tenon turned on here, and then we can get it in the jaws, and then we can start rounding it off. Yeah, I see you had your live, Eva. I see it this morning. I'm sorry I didn't get to see it. I didn't realise you was going live. If not, I'd have watched it. But to be honest, I fell asleep last night. As soon as I finished Wayne's on Wayne's live last night, I went in the house, sat on the sofa, and fell asleep. So I missed a lot last night, to be honest. So I'm just going to wind that up, push that tight in the chuck. So we're nice and secure now. So we'll get the spindle gouge, roughing gouge out, and just get it rounded off. I don't want all of it, so I'm just going to get it to round, and we'll see what happens. So I think the widest part of the piece is 32 mil. No, 33 mil, sorry. So if I rough this down to around about 33 mil wide, that should be about right. Long way to go. Long way to go. So as you've perhaps seen, Mark has put his link in the chat for his live tonight, 8 o'clock. He's standing in for Scott the Blue Light Turner. I believe Mark has turned the gobble up. Correct me if I'm wrong. So if you can, pop over and show Mark some support. He's new to the lives, as we all are. And to be honest, he's not a bad old boy either. Right, just get a pair of calipers. I just want to check that before we get too excited and take too much off of it. I think it's still got to go down quite a way, to be honest, but better be safe than sorry. Right, we're at 40 mil, so we want 7 mil off of it. So as that's 33, if I take it to 34, that'll give me a bit of space to sand it. Listen to the old. So we've got 37. So one more pass. I think we will be getting close. Hi Rich, thanks for coming over, sir. Don't start, Scott. Don't start, if not I'm going to block you. Right, so that's 35 mil. So I think that's fairly, actually it might be a little bit more there. 35.5. 35, let's just give it one light pass, just to clean it up. So I don't expect it to be absolutely spot on, but I'd like to try and get it close. 35, that'll do me. That's near enough for me. So let's get the piece we want. So we need, what I want to try and do is get something this sort of shape. Obviously we need to drill the end, so I'm going to put the end at this end. So what I need to do is just give it some rough marks where the definition points are. So I'm going to go from there, which is our collar in, and then roughly to the center of that where the high point is, which is going to be my high axis. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it into where the center of the low axis is. So I know I've got to feather it in there, and then we'll bring it to the end of the piece, and I'm going to mark it just where, if you see there's a little bit of a dip in there, so I'm going to mark it there. So just gently mark these. And then hopefully we can get something like it. Hopefully. So our first measurement is on this tip here is 18mm in diameter. So with the parting tool, I'm going to turn this down to 18mm. I'll just quickly go through the chat first. Make sure I don't miss nothing, because I don't want to miss your guys' comments, because that's a bit rude. Said hi, Rich. How you doing, Rich? Nice to see you over. Thank you for coming over, sir. You'll be glad to hear, Rich, I'm now doing some more modifications to the CNC machine, which could be interesting at the least. If there's a question, guys, put question in the front of it, and then I'll know exactly what I'm looking at, please, if you don't mind. Right, so let's get this turned down to 18mm. We're at 35, so we've got about 7mm to take off of it. No, we haven't. 17mm to take off of it. Like I say, if I have to, I could make a copper collar to go over that. I have a piece of 15mm copper pipe. But to be honest, I'd rather... I don't know. I'll see how it comes out. Right, so we'll check that. Why is my lathe going so slow? It's on 7, so what's 7? It's about 1600 RPM, Mark. Does it want to be fast? Do you want me to go faster? So that's on 19mm, so we're on a mil. I'll speed up just for you, Mark. Right, so let's check that now. 18mm. Right, so we want to be on that bit. So obviously this is our high point now, so I need to feather that out to reduce that down. 2000 RPM. I don't know if I can cope with that sort of speed. If that's the case, I need to change the belt on the machine, because it's on the set for... I always have it on the middle spindle. So what I'll do is I'll quickly change the belt, and then that should give me more speed, because maximum speed on that one is... Oh no, it should be alright. It's 2200. But let's change it anyway. So let me just move this over. There's always one moaning. Right. Speed changed. Speed change. So we want about 2000 amperes, number 7 now. There you go, Mark, just for you. Right, so I'm going to feather this out from the high point into this collar now. So I'm just gently going to bring that round, and this is obviously our high point, so this is where we've got to end off. Never really done any spindle work. This is really my first. When we did the goblet the other day, that was really the first bit of spindle work that I've ever really done, to be honest. So I'm going to try and put a little bit of a shoulder on that. And I'm going to try and bring this in to start taking that out. Now the middle of that piece goes down to 20 millimeters in the middle bit here, so it's quite a big difference. Let's give it a couple more passes, then we'll check our thickness. So just going to take this in a little bit. I'm just going to check the width of that. So we'll just check our thickness for that. So what we got, 20 millimeters. This bit here wants to be 20 millimeters. So we have 23 millimeters. So we've got to go a little bit more. This has got to go down a little bit, we know, because this should be 33 and that's 35. So we've got a little bit there. So what's going on in the chat? Let's have a quick look in the chat. So you lot are never ever going to let me let down this light pull situation, but I love it. That's just a bit of it's just a bit of banter which I really enjoy. So so whatever question. Hi Baz, how you doing? Thanks for coming over. Scott, thank you. You shouldn't have done, but thank you very much. To buy some light bulb blanks. Amy, no. Well, I don't know. Obviously, it's got to be black. I was thinking about doing it with the Ebonize, the Chestnut Products Ebonize and Lacquer. But what I might do first, I might do it with a bit of black stain first. So when the grain swells, you won't see the white grain come through it. So I might do that. Hi Barry, how are you? Thanks for coming over, sir. Right, so let's get back to it. I need to take another 3 mil off of this. So we'll just gently scoop that out a bit more, and then we can sort of get that done. This is going to be a nice, quick live today. Really ain't going to take too long to do this, really. But I'm getting fed up of doing bowls, to be honest. That's why I thought I'd do this on a live rather than doing it just me. Plus, it gives you guys something to moan at. Right, so let's just check that. Hi Tommy, how you doing? Thanks for coming over. So that is 20.5 millimeters, just a little shiny shiver out of there. And then so what I need to do now is this end, the end needs to come down a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. So what I'll do is I'll clean off some stuff out of here first. Just so we've got a bit of room to play with. So that needs to be sort of curved over. So I'm going to take the centre line for that and just gently curve it over. And then the same here. So we just need to reduce this bit here down now. Shall I come out this way? So I just need to sort of give that a bit more of a elegant shape, really. Looks a bit narrow now. So looks like I've gone a bit too narrow here now, but I can't really, well, I don't know. I think I need to take a little bit off of here. I don't think that will be far off, to be perfectly honest. So hello, Mr. Dale. Hello, how are you, sir? Thank you very much for coming over. Hope you're feeling much better. So, what do you reckon? Does it look like it or not? It's not far off, is it? I think I could live with that, to be perfectly honest. No, wrong camera. Wrong one again. one of those days today, I tell you. Hi, David. How are you? Thanks for coming over. How you feeling, Dale? So I think they've got the shape we want, or near enough. Gives us a little room to sand it, because it is slightly oversized here, but we can sand that down a little bit. So hopefully. You're not looking. You're not watching the monitor again, then, Scott. You're just listening. So anyway, got the shape I wanted. We'll get it sanded up and go from there. I think I'm not going to, actually, like I said, I'm not going to worry about this colour on the end here. I'm just going to colour it with a bit of silver. Who we got in the chat? Oh, hi, Andrew. How you doing? It's nice to know that, well, not to know, but it's nice to see so many people from all around the world getting together and talking. It's just so nice. And you wouldn't even think about it 20 years ago, because obviously they weren't really a thing that it would do. But it's so nice to know that there's so many people out there just from different countries. But anyway, less of the talking. Let's get on with it. Drill the handle. Yeah, I'm going to drill the handle. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to sand it first, and then I'm going to drill it. So overhead. So slow the lathe down. I'm going to put the extraction on. Just gently sand. I'm going to sand this from 120 up to 240, and then we can. Actually, I can't Yorkshire grit it because we're going to colour it. So I'm going to have to sand up to 400, and then we can. Like I said, I'll give it some black stain, and then I'll give it a coat of ebonizer and lacquer. The reason I'm going to stain it first is because I think once the grain opens and closes a couple of times, you'll see the white grain under the white wood underneath it. So if I stain it first, then hopefully you shouldn't see it. I think I might open that up a little bit more, to be honest. But I think I'll drill the tip in first. Don't look like light poles, Scott. So what I'll do now is I'll drill the end. Then we can. Then I can take some of this meat off of here. So change it for a chuck. Just measure what size bit we want. So that's on the narrowest part, that's 4mm. So I'm going to put a 4mm bit through there. 4mm bit. Don't need to go in too far because it's only about an inch long. So that'll do. What's this? I see my name's been mentioned. No, Baz, it's not another light tug. It's a handle for an old-fashioned cast iron warmer. So yes, Eva, it's an old-fashioned iron. Let's just come back on the camera. It's an old-fashioned iron stand. We used to put them next to your fire to warm up. Customer's got two. One's got a handle missing, so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make a handle to match the existing one wherever I've put it, which I've lost now, so I've got to make two. No, here it is. So obviously this goes on here. No, not that one, this one. This goes on here like so. So obviously these used to be sat next to the fire, you cast iron on there, and then obviously used to heat it. So, but this one unfortunately has got the handle missing. So she asked me if I could make her a handle, and I said I would. So it's good, to be honest. I enjoy things like this because there's a little bit of it gets you to match something rather than doing something out of your own head, which is quite nice sometimes. So yeah, it's good. So I'm going to thin this down a little bit now on the back here. Let's move this back over. Damo, I was thinking exactly the same. Could use a piece of copper pipe to use as a ferrule. I might do actually because that might split open. I'll see how it goes. It's what was it again? 18 mil. So if I'm using a piece of copper, yeah, it's 18 mil. So I've got to use a piece of copper. I'm going to have to take it down a little tiny piece. But yeah, I may put a piece of copper over it. But for the time being, I'm just going to colour it. I think. No, actually, I'm just going to do the whole thing black. Then see how it goes. And if she wants that a piece of copper over it, I'll put a piece of copper over it. But so Mike has put it's to stop the hot iron burning. Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, you put your iron in the fire or near the fire to heat up, and then put it on that. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Keith. Yeah. Yeah, I think it may need a demo. To be honest, I don't know if I've got a bit of 15 mil copper in the house, in the garage. To be honest, that's all in my van. But what I will do is I will just turn that down to 15 mil because I know what's going to happen once I part it. I'm not going to be able to get it back in there to do it, am I? So I'm just going to turn it down to 15 mil, the size of an internal copper pipe, or external size. Also. 16 mil, a little bit more. So another half a mil. $14 mil. That should be enough to get our copper ferrule over the top of that. Right, so I'm going to take some of this muck away. So I've moved the camera, you'll be able to see a bit better, won't you? So just quickly sand that over again, just to finish it off. So that's up to 120. So 240. And like I said, I'm going to take it to 400 because we're going to colour it. And what I'll do is when I put the bit of copper on, I'll just put some epoxy in there just to hold it in place. So 240, 320, and the final one 400. So there we go. That's our rough shape and sanded back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give that some sand and seal. Oh no, not sand and seal. I'm going to stain it with some stains. Let's use some chestnut stains. Let's use the Spirit Stain Black. The reason I think it'll be a bit more durable than the Hampshire Sheen, to be honest. Oops, good glove. Afternoon, Robert. How are you? Thanks for coming over, sir. So give this a coat of black, and I'm going to use the Hampshire. No, I'm not. Jesus, I'm going to go back to bed, I think. It's just been one of those days today, it really has. So anyway, I'm going to use the Chestnut Products Spirit Stain. So I'm going to give it a coat of this, and then hopefully this will stop it from when it expands and contracts. You'll stop seeing the white grain in it. That's the plan. Oh, stink. So we'll see what happens, and then we'll give it a coat over the top of that of the ebonizing lacquer, I think. Oh, doesn't it look pretty? Try and get a good coat on it so it makes it nice and dark. Don't use the spirit stains, to be honest, a lot. I should use them more really, but I seem to always go to the Hampshire Sheen ones. So just give it another coat. Seems to make it go a little bit darker, second coat. So we'll let that soak in for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to give that a coat of sand and sealer, but because we've used a spirit stain, we're going to have to go over it with a acrylic sand and sealer. Alright, that'll do. Put the lid back on this before I knock it over. Hi Leona, how are you? Thanks for coming over. So, acrylic sand and sealer's in here somewhere. Here it is. Don't use it very often, as you can tell by the dust on the bottle. So as like I just said, because we're using a spirit stain dye, we're using an acrylic sand and sealer. The reason being is obviously the spirit stain is spirit based and the water won't make it run. Leona, today I am making a replacement handle for one of these. So the plan is to make, hang on, I'll just take this off and I'll show you, to make a replacement one of these. One of my customers had two of these old-fashioned iron holders and one of the handles is missing, so she asked me if I could make her a replacement handle. So that's what we're doing. I'm not saying it's going to be 100% exactly the same, so but it's going to be close. That's what I'm going to say. It's going to be close. So we've got a shape. We've stained it black, and my plan is, the reason I've stained it black is because when it obviously expands and contracts, I don't want it crackling. You see the white grain in it. So then I'm going to sand and seal it, and then I'm going to give a coat of black ebonizer lacquer, chestnut ebonizer lacquer. So no, I'm not making a light pool, Keith. You and your light pools. So we are going to give it. This is dry. Is it dry? No, not quite. Got fingerprints all in it now. So we're going to give it a coat of sand and sealer. And then I'm going to give it a piece of ebonized lacquer. So what I'm going to do is, while that's drying, I'm just going to nip to my van and grab a piece of copper pipe for a ferrule. Or fur, or whatever you want to call it. Right, so I now have a piece of copper pipe. So the inside diameter of this is 13.5 millimeters. I think this is slightly bigger than that. Half a mil too big. So I need to just take a little tiny shiver off of that collar. So this here is a half a millimeter too big. So I'm just going to take a half a mil off of that. You didn't miss a lot, Jappy. Right, so it's 13mm now. So what I'll do is I'll cut a piece of this. I'll cut a piece of this, the size we want to go on there. It's going to be a bit tricky because it's only a little tiny bit, but so that's the bit we want. Just get a little round file just to clean that middle out because there's a bit of swarf in there. If I can find the drawer I want and the file I want. Actually, so the only trouble is when you cut it with a pipe cutter, it flares in the end a little tiny bit. So we'll just take this back and check it so it fits on. If I tap that on there now, we ain't got to worry about it, have we? So, small tap and stick. So, it's a little bit longer than what we needed. The reason being is I'm going to clean it off on the linisher afterwards. So, don't get despaired that I cut it too long. Just clean off this burr off of here. Could have been a little bit narrow, really, but never mind. That could go back just a little touch now. There you go. So, it's not quite on square. So we'll put this back in now, just to support that end. So what I'll do is I'll clean that off once we get it finished on the linisher. Just put a little bit of stain on that bit in there, if we can get it in there. I'll cover that with a bit of masking tape when we spray it. So right, so we've got a bit of copper on now. I'll show you, that'll help, won't it? So I've put that bit of copper on there just to give the end a bit of strength, and that's about 2 maybe 3mm longer than what we actually need. But because the pipe cutters, if you go too small, they won't hit on the roller and won't cut properly. So, but what I'll do is I'll just clean it off with a linisher and a file at the end, so we get a good finish on it. So now that's dry, we can give that a coat of acrylic sand and sealer. It's a bit thick. It's really thick, isn't it? It's taking all the colour out, look. And then we can give it a dose of what do you call it? You know what I mean. Ebenezer lacquer. So we're talking about so what's going on in the chat? We're waiting for that to dry. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Oh hi, Jappy, you come back. How you doing? Colin, you don't want this lathe, it's too big, mate. You'll have to build a bigger workshop then. Let's have a look. You're not skiving, are you, Jappy? I can't keep up with the chat. It's too quick. Right, so let's get a bit of masking tape, cover that up, and then we can give it a coat of ebonized and lacquer, and then that should be ready to rock and roll. Really, like I say, it's just a quick little project today. So nothing major, but something a bit different than the normal bowls that we normally do. Cover my lathe up because I don't want to be covering my lathe all in crud. I think everybody's a bit concerned about COVID at the moment. I thought we was out of the woods, but I really think it's going to, personally, I think it's going to come back and bite us. But I hope I'm wrong. I really do hope I'm wrong. Is the sound too loud, guys? If it is, I'll turn it down a little bit. So let's give this a coat of ebonized and lacquer. Actually, perhaps give it a couple of coats, to be perfectly honest. Put the extraction on. So I'm just going to gently dry it off with the hot air gun. So I don't want to overheat it, because if you overheat it, it'll bubble up and blister. So I'm trying to keep the gun far enough away, so I'm only getting a lukewarm air over the top of it. And as you can see, it's starting to go matty, which is mean it's starting to cure. So grains all swollen up with the lacquer on it. So what I'll do is I'll just quickly rub over that with a Scotch Brite just to denib that. Not like that. Still wet in it. Jesus. What's going on, Stephen? Told you guys, it's one of those days today. No, I've got to sand that back now. Too venturous. Tried to do it too quick. So let's take that back. Try again. Yeah, that's the trouble, Steve. I'm trying to rush it rather than take my time. Steve from Rubber Dub, yeah, I perhaps will actually get it on the lathe. I might change my jaws to the pen jaws so I can grab the tip on it or the ferrule on it, and then I can actually make them look both the same. They'll look nice if they both look new, or newer, shall I say. Trouble is, I'm trying to rush it, so I'm not holding you guys up. That's the trouble. And I know you don't bother. I know you don't care, but I just don't want you guys to spend 3 hours here just for the sake of an handle. Right, let's cure it a bit better this time. Yeah, that's a good idea. Pen mandrel. I'll see. I'll have a look. But that will look better if I will actually clean the other one up as well. Because I don't think, if I clean the other one up, I think they'll actually look fairly close. Thanks for coming over, Keith. Have a good day, mate. So I'm hoping that if the other one was painted, they wouldn't look too bad. Obviously, that's a bit thinner this end because we've gone 15mm and that was 18mm, but you can't use what you haven't got, unfortunately. Handler's better than light pull. Don't get used to it. I ain't doing too many of them. But no, it's turned out well. I'm really pleased how that's turned out. To be honest, it's not actually a million miles out of the original, to be honest. So I'm really pleased with that. Like I say, the only real difference is this end because this one's slightly narrower, but no, it looks all right. It looks good. I'm happy. So we'll give that a couple of minutes to dry because I don't want to overcook it again and do what we've got to do. So, is there any questions, guys? Well, obviously, I know it's not a very important project, but if there's any questions you want me to answer, it doesn't have to be about the project. I'll answer anything. I'm not fussy. You have a. I'll send it to you, Steve. If you want a light pull blank, I'll send it to you. Thank you, Jappy. You're a sweet talker. It's warm in there. It's always warm in this workshop for some reason. No, that is the trouble. You can't speed up the drying process. If I put too much heat on it, it's just going to bubble up, and in the grain, it's just going to flare up like it did. If I rush it, it's just going to ruin it. So I might as well just be patient, and if worse come to worse, I will finish it when I finish the live. So, but if you guys are prepared to hang around, then I'll carry on going. That doesn't bother me. I've got nothing pressing today to finish. So I've been working on the CNC, been making some new bits for the CNC. Don't know if you guys have been following. I've been modifying. I've got a 3018 Pro CNC and laser engraver, and I want a bigger CNC, but I'm not prepared to spend $2.5 grand on a bigger CNC. So what I've done is I've bought another 3018 Pro, just the CNC, just the milling side of it, not the laser side of it, and I've modified it to give me a bigger bed. So the original machine, thank you, John. The original machine is 180mm depth by 300mm wide. The machine I've now modified is now 300mm deep by, I can get 700, but what I've done is I've stopped it just at 600. The reason being is I don't want no stress going through the worm screw. So what I've done is I've reduced it to 600, which is still big enough to do like household plaques and things like that. But I've now designed and making some sides to increase the height as well. So I'll just get a piece and show you that I did on it. This is the first piece that I engraved on it. I've blackened it and I've filled it with resin. So when the resin dries, I'll sand it right back, and then I'll sand it all back shape, because it's only going to be about that wide. So I'll cut it out and then sand it all up, and then once it's all done, I will give it either coats of marine varnish or some resin, depending on what the customer wants. But that's the first project I've done on the CNC, so hopefully it's working. The calibrations are correct. It's true. I had a little bit of issue with the bed, but we managed to sort that out. So I had a 2mm variance in the bed from corner to corner, but now I've messed around and got it down to about 0.25, so it's less than a quarter of a millimeter. So I can live with that, I think. So yes, so the next modification is to make the tower higher. I've got an upgraded spindle motor, got an upgraded Z-axis lift to give me more height, and so the improvement sides, I've raised the sides up by 80mm, so that gives me another 80mm clearance, so I can get thicker pieces in. Because what I'd like to try and do is turn a bowl and then engrave the rim of the bowl. That's in the future, but that's in my head. That's what I want to do in my head. But yeah, it makes good. It's nice to do, and it's something different. So that's what I've been working on in the evenings and weekends and everything else. But like I say, I've managed to design the sides. So I've done a test run this morning on a piece of ply, and it's come out absolutely spot on. All the hole sizes are the right, all the hole distances are right. So I can set up now and print or engrave it out on a proper piece of acrylic now. So yeah, it's working good. But if anybody's interested, there's videos coming out for that, the modification of the CNC machine. But I'm going to do it over like 4 or 5 weeks, because it's quite a long process. So that's going to be quite a long video. So yeah, it'll be all right. So anyway, let's give this another coat of lacquer. You'll be all right, John. When you see the videos, you'll understand. That's not rocket science. If I can do it, anybody can do it, believe me. So let's give this another coat of ebonized and lacquer, and I think that's going to be pretty close. Oh, Leona pancakes. God, I can't remember last time I had a pancake. Yeah, I suppose you could, Colin. I suppose if you was engraving a plaque, if you was engraving a plaque like a round plaque, I suppose you could do it. The mirror I did was done on the laser engraver I've got. So that's how I did the mirror, which came out really nice. Cheers, John. Be very nice. Yeah, the mirror I did. I don't know if you guys have seen the video for this. I don't know if you see it. There you go. that was done on the laser engraver, not the CNC. And what you do is you're burning off the reflective coat on the back of the mirror to give you your image through the front. So yeah, but you like Colin said, you could, I suppose, if you wanted to do, um, you could do logos on it, logo plaques. Well, at the end of the day, if you put the art, if you can get the artwork in the machine, that'll engrave it. Easy as that. So trying to read the chat and draw that at the same time. Lazy mantles. How can you say that, Baz? I would imagine the amount of time I spend designing, editing it, and then inserting it into the machine. I should imagine I could have got the router out and engraved it. I would imagine. So I don't know if you guys are aware what I've been doing with my Sunday lives. I have been editing them and then uploading them on a Wednesday, just for anybody really who don't get a chance to stay through the whole live and see the finished product. It's like a 2-hour video or 2-hour live cut down to perhaps 10-15 minutes, something like that, which people have been quite enjoying. So hopefully I'm not sort of forcing it on people, but I just thought I'd do it just so that people because some people have commitments on a Sunday, so they can't stay for the whole live. So I thought what I'd do is I'd edit them and stick them back up on a Wednesday, just so people can really catch up where they left off more than anything. So I hope that's going down well, and I hope it's not too much rammed down your throat about lives. But at the moment they seem to be going down quite well. But I'm still going to be putting the project up on a Saturday. I don't know at the moment. The trouble is at the moment I'm not doing no premieres because there's too many people on a Saturday. You've got Emma. No, sorry. Yeah, you got Emma. No, Andy, Emma. Then you've sometimes. Then I was putting up premieres, which to me really was pointless because nobody was really coming to watch them because obviously people are watching these other guys. So I didn't bother. But I still will put a video up on a Saturday at 7 o'clock. So hopefully it'll get some view time. And hopefully you guys will be able to see some of what I've been up to other than lives, because lives are nice, but I still enjoy doing the videos as well because I enjoy the editing side of it all. What's that? Last week's. This week's was the art piece I did a couple of weeks ago, because what I'm trying to do is like the Sunday I did last week will be next Wednesdays, so it's like always a half a week behind. That's what I'm trying to do. So no, not half a week behind. So not a half a week. Amy, are any of you lot from up near Cumbria? No, I'm Kingsley in Norfolk. So no, not Thursday. Not Thursday lunchtimes live, Baz. Just the Sundays. So you can't. Baz, I'm ignoring that question. I'm not answering any questions about issues like that. I think John's the nearest. He's in Spain. No. I don't know where I know some of you guys are from Australia. Some are from. I know John's from Spain, but I don't know where everybody's from. See you later, Doug. Thanks for coming over. So, this is still going to be wet, I can guarantee it. Yeah, it's still, well, it's not wet, but it's tacky. So I don't really want to part that off and ruin it really, because once I've parted it off, we're screwed a little bit. So Colin's from Kingston upon Tyne. Hi Hugh, how are you? Thanks for coming over, sir. It's alright, mate. You ain't missed a lot. We're only doing something simple today. Steve Ellis is from West Yorkshire. My girls have pancakes with barbecue sauce on them. Now, to me, that is strange. Yeah, no. Lemon and sugar, yes. Golden syrup, yes. Honey, yes. Barbecue sauce, no, that's just weird, if you ask me. Patience, grasshopper. Hi, Wooden, how are you? Wooden. Dennis. Dennis is from the US. So we've got a good group of people from all over the world, basically. Yeah, that's what I say, Leona. Barbecue sauce is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. You've been all over the place, Colin. You've been all over the place, mate. So, I want to get this off, really. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to part it. I'm going to bite the bullet and go for it. So let's get this overhead in. So I'm just going to use a small parting tool and we'll get this parted. So there we go. It's got a little nip on there, but what I'll do is I'll leave that to dry and then I'll clean that off afterwards and then just fill that in with a little bit of black lacquer. So, what do you reckon? Is it close enough? It's not far out, is it? Perhaps should add a bit more of a dome on the back of that, but other than that, it's not. I can live with that, I think. Peanut butter and Marmite. Ugh, man. Pardon me. Hi, Alf. How are you? Didn't see you pop into the chat. So anyway, there's the finished piece. And what I'm going to do is, when this dry, I will clean the end up and then just spray a little bit of Evernize and lacquer over the top of that. I don't want to play around too much because it's still green. The paint's still green on it, but it's dry enough to part. So yes, it's not a light pool. It's not a blooming light pool. So yeah, there's the original. There's the finished one. So like I say, they're not a million miles out. Maybe this one's a little bit more bulgy here, but I think that's acceptable. Yeah, I can live with that. I can live with that. So that's it, guys. Really, nothing. Like I say, this week has been nothing too exciting. Just stand that there to dry. Nothing been too exciting. But I just want to do something different rather than the same old bowls all the time. So it's been good. I've enjoyed it. It's been something different, which is nice. I'm always trying to look for challenges. No ring pulls, no light pulls, no resin rings, anything like that. Challenge. So anyway, guys, before we go, is there any final questions, comments, sarcasm, whatever you want to put in the chat? Because if not, I'm going to knock it on the head. We've been going now about an hour and a half. That's plenty long enough for a live on a dinner time. You guys have got things to do, and I'm sure you can find better things to do than spend your time with me. But thank you very much to everybody for coming over. It's been very pleasurable as always. Sunday, as always, it'll be me and my lovely wife. She'll be in there giving me some grief, no doubt. So thank you very much, everybody. Thanks, Steve. Tonight, Jappy. I'm trying to think. I could perhaps do about 4:30, 5 o'clock. Depends if you're home from work or not. But message me, mate, and we'll see what we can do. Baz, I'm not answering. Right then, guys, so I'm going to kill it. So have a great day, or the rest of your day, should I say. Thank you, John. Very much appreciated. So anyway, guys, have a great rest of your day, wherever you are or wherever you're from, whether it be early or night or late, should I say. I'll see you guys. Actually, before we go, Mark, stick your link in for your live tonight, mate, before you go, please, mate. Just so people have got it to refresh their mind. So Mark's on tonight. Mark, the Gentleman Woodturner, is on tonight, live at 8 o'clock. So go over and check Mark out. I believe he's turning the goblet. I wanted to turn a goblet, but he's still on the limelight, so. But yeah, so go and check Mark out, 8 o'clock. And then tomorrow, what's tomorrow? Friday. Lunchtime live with Wayne the Woodturner. And then we've got Stace Makes tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, I believe. And then we're on Saturday. I'm not going to go through Saturday's list. The reason being is because it keeps changing. So I'm sure Wayne will go through it tomorrow dinner time. He knows more about it than I do. Every time I write a list, it changes. Oh, sorry, Mark's doing 8:45 tonight, not 8 o'clock. So, oh yeah, because Rich is Invade tonight. Yes, that's what you got to go. Rich, bed 16 tonight. Rich's Invade is with Stuart Farini, the colouring king himself. So that will be really, really good. So make sure you go and check that out. Yes. Yeah, sorry, Mark, I forgot about that. Can you put the link in for Richard's page, Mark, please? Before we go. Sorry, mate, putting a bit of pressure on you now. Look. So yeah, Richard Invade at 8, then Mark is on at 8:45. So yes, another good evening of entertainment coming up. And then, like I said, Wayne the Woodturner at dinner time tomorrow, and then Stace Makes at 8 o'clock. So I think if Mark can do it, or Mark was going to put the chat link. Cheers, Tommy. Thank you very much for coming over anyway. It's just nice to see you in the chat, mate. See you later, Eva. Did you get your goblet, Eva? Has it turned up yet? I sent it last Saturday, so you should have got it by now, I would imagine. Yeah, I do apologise. It wasn't a very good product today. It's just something that I needed to do, and I thought I'd just do it on a live, just really to break things up a little bit. So let me see if I can. Oh, that's it. Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much. So Mark's put the link in for Beard 16's Invasion tonight with Stuart Farini. So, guys, I would really, really check that out because Stuart is one really talented turner, and it'd be nice to see what equipment and gear he uses. So, yeah. So anyway, let's go through it again. So anyway, we'll say goodbye now, and I'll see you guys Sunday, and I'll no doubt speak to you guys in a future chat. So have a great rest of the day, and I'll speak to you later. Take care, speak to you soon, and bye for now. Bye.
That's all, folks.